Hello and welcome to ScaleUp Radio Shorts, the bite-sized show where we distill the biggest lessons from our recent interviews. I'm Kevin Brent.
And I'm Granger Forson. Kevin and I are the founders of Smart 90, and we're passionate about helping businesses scale effectively. This show, as always, is brought to you by Smart 90, the proven 90-day execution system designed to help you and your team achieve your most important business goals.
Indeed, and today we're going to be reflecting on three really fascinating but very different conversations we've had recently. We'll be comparing the journeys of Aliza Ratnayaka from Little Big Flavour Kits, Corina Calugaru and Aliza Stancu of the Orange Notebook, and Wes Henstock, the co-founder of Confidential, and that's spelt with a 3 instead of the E.
Three incredibly different businesses, but as we'll discuss, some surprisingly common threads. I think a great place to start is right at the beginning. The genesis of their entrepreneurship. Their reasons for starting were worlds apart.
Absolutely. You have Aliza, whose journey with Little Big Flavour Kits began during the pandemic. It wasn't about escaping a job, but about finding a purpose in a way to combat a feeling of helplessness. You turned her passion for cooking and her Sri Lankan heritage into a business, really encouraged by her friends and community.
And you contrast that with Corina and Alina from the Orange Notebook. Their start was driven by pure dissatisfaction. They were in toxic corporate environments, feeling deeply unhappy and limited. For them, entrepreneurship was a drastic leap of faith, resigning on the same day without a plan B. It was a push away from pain, rather than a pull towards a hobby.
And then you have third path, which was Wes at Confidential. He didn't choose it at all. He was forced into it. He and his entire team were laid off from a job in the New York fashion industry with no severance. Entrepreneurship for him was a means of survival, capitalizing on his network and expertise because he literally had no other choice. So you have purpose, pain, and a push. Three very distinct origin stories.
It's a powerful reminder that there's no single right way to become an entrepreneur. Some are driven by a sudden spark of inspiration, others by a slow-burning dissatisfaction, and some are simply forced to adapt to survive. It's the resilience and the ability to turn a challenging situation into an opportunity that's the common denominator. And just as their beginnings were different, their business models have all undergone significant evolution. None of them are doing exactly what they set out to do, which is a key lesson in itself.
That's right. Aliza started with simple kits, but as she learned, she evolved. She moved to sourcing spices directly from sustainable growers in Sri Lanka and creating a more integrated product. Crucially, she also realized that her niche wasn't just curry, but specifically Sri Lankan food, which required educating her customers. And that's a huge pivot in branding and marketing positioning.
And we saw a similar evolution with the Orange Notebook. They started with marketing and branding, their core skills from their previous jobs. But through working with clients and a lot of self-discovery, they expanded into business strategy and executive coaching. They developed a more modular approach, adapting to what each client truly needed, rather than sticking rigidly to their original service.
Wes's evolution at Confidential is just as dramatic. He began as a white label service, working in the background for other agencies, hence the name, but he evolved into a purpose-driven brand strategy agency, helping clients find their own golden threads. And he went from being the hidden support act to the main event, which is a fundamental shift in business identity. And that evolution is rarely a straight line. It's a messy process of trial and error. What's fascinating is how all three businesses, in their own way, had to listen intently to their customers and the market to find their true north. They didn't just stick to their initial idea. They co-created their business with their audience. That's a lesson that so many businesses, big or small, still struggle with.
Of course, these evolutions and journeys are never smooth. A major theme across all three conversations was the challenges and mistakes they faced along the way. Self-doubt was a big one that came up again and again.
It certainly was. Aliza talked about feeling like a fraud in the early days before she grew into her expertise. And Corina and Alina were very open about their identity conflict when they shifted away from pure marketing, feeling like they were abandoning their background. And they even admitted to being scammed twice because they trusted others over their own intuition.
That's a really important point. The identity conflict is something many entrepreneurs face when they pivot. They feel like they're betraying their original vision or their own expertise. But in reality, it's a sign of growth. It shows they're willing to let go of their ego to serve their customers better. It's a sign of a mature founder. That struggle is so relatable for so many founders. Beyond the internal battles, there were practical hurdles too. Financial management was a challenge for Aliza, who had to learn how to handle significant capital tied up in stock and deal with currency fluctuations. And for all of them, scaling and team building brought unique problems.
And let's not forget the challenge of work-life balance, which is a constant struggle for entrepreneurs. Aliza, for instance, started her business from home during the pandemic, which blurs the lines between personal and professional life. And for Corina and Alina, leaving a toxic work environment doesn't mean they are immune to burnout. Building a business from scratch is an all-consuming endeavor. Yes, Aliza had to restructure her business when her co-founder left. The Orange Notebook founders identified team alignment as a massive challenge for scaling businesses, trying to avoid the feeling of herding cats. And Wes has tackled it by building a successful global remote team, which he says works because he hires based on shared values and a strong work ethic.
What helps navigate those challenges, I think, is a strong sense of purpose and vision, which was another powerful theme. For Wes, this is explicit. He talks about the purpose being the unchanging guiding force for a business, something tangible that drives behaviour. It's the whole foundation of his agency's work.
It is, and while it's explicit for Wes, it's just as strong, though perhaps more personal for the others. Aliza's purpose is deeply intertwined with her Sri Lankan heritage and her desire to share it authentically. Her vision is evolving towards getting into major supermarkets, but it's grounded in the joy she gets from her work.
I think it's crucial to distinguish between purpose and mission. The mission is what you do, the what and the how. The purpose is the why. And Wes is a master at helping companies find their why. And when you have a strong why, the what and the how can evolve without the business losing its soul. And it's the anchor in the stormy sea of entrepreneurship. And the Orange Notebook founders have this clear vision of building a business that can eventually become independent of their direct delivery. That's a very specific scaling goal. And Alina's ambition for a £100 million business shows a powerful high-growth mindset driving them forward. They found that many business owners struggle to even articulate their why, which holds them back.
And the final piece of the puzzle, which all three underscored, is that you can't do it alone. The critical role of mentorship, networking, and external support was a universal lesson.
Absolutely. Aliza leveraged organizations like a food accelerator program to get mentorship on complex issues like margins. Wes is a testament to the power of lifelong networking. He relies almost entirely on referrals from relationships he's maintained since his early days in New York. Both he and the founders of the Orange Notebook also spoke about the value of having specific mentors to guide them.
And it's not just about finding one mentor, it's about building a personal board of directors, a diverse group of people who can offer different perspectives. You might have a mentor for financial advice, another for marketing, and another for personal development. The founders of the Orange Notebook, for example, sought out mentors who had successfully scaled their own service-based businesses, which is a very specific and valuable type of guidance. It just shows that whether you're building a food brand, a consultancy, or a creative agency, the core principles of success are remarkably similar. It's about adaptability, continuous learning, and building a robust support network around you.
A perfect summary, Kevin. These conversations were packed with so much more detail and personality than we can cover here. Each story is a powerful lesson in resilience and the personal journey of growth that is entrepreneurship.
They really are. So if you've been inspired by these snippets, we highly encourage you to listen to the full interviews. Just search for ScaleUp Radio on your favorite podcast platform to hear the complete stories of Aliza, Wes, Corina, and Alina.
And if you're looking to scale your own business and implement a proven system for execution, you can learn more about how we help at smart90.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in to ScaleUp Radio Shorts.